Hi guys, and welcome to Crystal Tide Tarot. So let's play a quick game. Put a finger down if you have ever watched a pick a card tarot reading video. Put a finger down if you've ever watched a pick a card tarot reading video about someone you weren't dating. Put a finger down if you ever watched a pick a card tarot reading video about someone you weren't dating and you watched multiple videos. Put a finger down if you ever felt upset, anxious, depressed, or personally victimized by the reading itself or the reader after watching a tarot reading pick a card video. Let's get into it. I'm going to take my glasses off because there's a little bit of a glare. Hi, everyone. So for those of you who don't know, a pick a card tarot reading video is, and most of you will know, that's why you're here, but a pick a card tarot reading video is essentially 1 to 4 piles, sometimes even more, of either a tarot card, or tarot piles, and it's connected to a question. Like it could be love, career, spiritual guides, spiritual messages. Sometimes it's like, how does this person feel about me? What's going to happen in the next month? Where will my career be in 3 months from now? And essentially you pick a card, a pile, or sometimes even a crystal, and you get a tarot reading for free online, a free tarot reading. My gosh, how exciting. So I have been noticing on my algorithm, like my homepage on YouTube, I have been seeing, and this makes sense for someone like me because I do tarot, I have my own tarot channel, and I also watch pick a card readings still to this day. And I noticed that there are a lot of people who expressed why they no longer watch tarot reading videos. There's a lot of them out there, their own personal experiences, bad experiences. But I've also been noticing that they all are around the same theme of tarot addiction, kind of like ruining their life, like it's kind of taking over. So I wrote down some quotes that I want to share with you guys that I've been seeing either from people commenting on those videos or quotes that uploaders themselves are saying. And I am leaving it anonymous. So one of the quotes was, "I was victimized after my tarot reading and I felt very depressed." The second quote is, "Tarot keeps you stuck in the past and obsessed with the future." And the last quote was, "I had a tarot reader who told me in 5 years that I was going to have all these blessings, that I had so much purpose, and I kept getting depressed and upset because it never happened for me." So the reason why I bring up these quotes is I want to validate anyone's experience that they've ever had that wasn't good when it comes to tarot readings. You are allowed to feel a certain way, okay? So if you were upset by a video or you felt hurt by that video, you felt you were unhappy with the reading, whether it was a pick a card, whether it was a private or personal reading, but I'm strictly talking about pick a cards in this video. We'll get into personal and private readings later and the topic on that. But those things are valid. Okay. So I want to say that if you've had a bad experience from one, that's valid. People who have watched videos over and over again and have been really upset with the results. Like these are come from people who said that they have watched these videos. They keep hearing the same thing. Someone's coming back. This person's returning. They want to make their way back to you. They're going to reach out to you. Those type of readings. Okay. I do feel that at the root of all tarot addiction is limerence. The definition of limerence, for some of you guys who don't know, limerence is a state of mind which results from romantic feelings for another person and typically includes intrusive, melancholic thoughts or tragic concerns for the object of one's affection, as well as a desire to form or maintain a relationship with the object of love and to have one's feelings reciprocated. Now, the reason why I have a theory that at the root of tarot addiction is limerence is because I have had limerence. Okay. A lot of us have had it. It feels like a crush feeling, feels like those butterfly feelings, but tarot is a perfect tool to really get addicted and kind of drive your own delusions when it comes to being obsessed with a person, when it comes to a crush. Now, this isn't to say that tarot is not real. Tarot is very real, but at the same time, it can be abused. You know, you can use things over and over again and not really get the results you're looking for. Anything can be abused with you abuse over and over again. Alcohol. You can have a bad day and say, I'm going to have a drink. You end up having like 6 shots and blacking out, and you have a hangover the next day. That's not really using, something that you're supposed to enjoy responsibly. Same thing with shopping. I wanted to have self-care and go out shopping. You overdraft on your card, or you spend too much money and you can't pay a bill, or you're late on a bill. That's a consequence of overindulgence. And to me, it's the same when it comes to a pick-a-card reading. The feelings that you have are valid, but at the same time, it is also really important to watch responsibly when it comes to the tarot readings. And I'm saying that again from personal experience. Now, completely vulnerable moment here. I'm going to share about my personal limerence and tarot addiction that I've had in the past. So in 2021, I was going through my Saturn return. A Saturn return is when you are turning, it's like late 26 to 32, depending on how your chart is and everything. But I was going through a lot of intense life lessons, basically like your Saturn return is all the things and morals and values you have are basically uprooted in your life so you can relearn them again. Like, did you really learn it? Are you really wise? And so that's pretty much what I had gone through. I had struck limerence with a person that I had met out in a bar. I had this insane, magnetic, unexplainable pull that I could not describe. It was very upsetting. It was very uncomfortable. For 6 to 8 months, I was crying. I was upset. I was really confused. I didn't understand why. And during that time, I was just engrossed in tarot pick card readings. I was just watching one after another. Like, it was like feeding my addiction. It was feeding this feeling, right? And that's the thing. That's what we get from these tarot pick a card readings a lot of the time is we're getting a feeling. We're getting an emotion. We're getting either excitement or hope, inspiration. We're getting that giddiness. We're basically fueling, some of our ego and some of our own thoughts and sometimes delusions. Sometimes we're not delusional. Sometimes there really is something going on. But I'm talking about in my experience, I was feeding that limerence. And I think a lot of people experience this too, which is why I'm sharing it. So after some time of going to therapy, and talking about it with my therapist and realizing that, this feeling, this pull, this excitement had a term, and that was limerence. It was almost like I had broken the spell. It was almost like I had realized, this is what I'm feeling. And for a lot of people, limerence does come from either having an abusive childhood or having a neglecting parent or having something traumatic happen in your life. It's basically a coping mechanism to fill a void of not feeling loved. There is a lot of loveless moments and experiences in my childhood. That is a fact. So to me, it wasn't that surprising when I found out that that's why I was like feeding into pick a card love readings about this person. It was really fueling my delusions. It was like coping, kind of soothing me and just making me feel better about the situation, just kind of giving me hope. So now we know that at the root of tarot addiction for love readings is limerence. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of people that are like, this
sounds like your own experience. And it sounds like you have issues, and I just don't like tarot card readings because they tell me what I don't want to hear.
But I will say that let's have a sense of emotional intelligence and maturity to consider that these things are affecting us. It's really hard to have some self-awareness to think, this is why I'm doing this, but a lot of the time, I'm sure a lot of people will say that those who have watched the tarot card readings are watching it about the same person over and over again. And I'm sorry, but that is like the definition of limerence. So I appreciate you guys, really kind of allowing me to hold this space to be vulnerable. One thing I really want to cover is when you are watching a pick a card reading, it is all about responsibility. You need to watch responsibly. Ultimately, at the end of the day, you are the person who decides to click on that video. You're the person who decides to watch the video all the way through. You are in charge and responsible of your own feelings and your own emotions, your own reactions. Like, that's you. I remember in 2020, the case of Gabriel Fernandez, I can't remember, that case on Netflix, that horrible, traumatic child abuse case in LA that took place in LA. They had a documentary on Netflix. I watched it in a span of 24 hours. I was triggered by that documentary. at the end of the day, it's my responsibility because did I know it was going to trigger me? No. But I can't get upset at the documentary review being on YouTube or on Netflix. I can't get upset at the producers or the directors or obtaining the information. I can't get upset that it was suggested to me on my Netflix. I can't get upset about that. I was the one who chose to watch it. I was the one who chose to listen and watch it all the way through because I did. I was kind of feeling sick halfway through, but I kept pushing myself because I wanted to finish it because I was curious about the case. So therein, I triggered myself, right? That's my experience. That's my responsibility. And we basically have that same responsibility when it comes to tarot pick a card readings, because tarot is not for the faint-hearted, especially depending on the reader. I know we have some pretty blunt readers out there who are really honest. And we also have a lot of scams, but I'll get into that later. If you're watching 10 pick a card readings about the same question for the same person, or asking about the same person and all these different topics, that ultimately is on you, because at some point, you know, those readings, that energy is going to be so like convoluted and just in a blender, might not really make sense. Pick a card readings are collective messages, meaning that multiple people watch them. Consider you getting a personal or private tarot card reading. Those I've come to realize, like any reading that I've gotten, I've always gotten the answers that I wanted or needed, versus a pick a card reading where I kind of get some answers, because remember, that's collective energy. Some messages are yours, some messages are other people's. That's why sometimes people say this didn't resonate at all. As a tarot reader, I have always been honest and kind with my delivery of my readings. But anytime someone is, you know, repetitively asking, you know, about the same topic over and over again, especially if it's in a short amount of time and you're asking about the same topic or the same person, like you're not really going to get different results. Or sometimes it gets so jumbled that it's like like the cards are so confused, the spirit's so confused, it's trying to give you other messages, but it's so mixed up. So that's just another part of watching responsibly, is getting a private or personal tarot card reading versus the pick a cards. Another thing that I wanted to add about watching responsibly and when it comes to scams is the term twin flames. Like, I don't really like that term, because I think a lot of tarot readers who can like just are kind of give a scammy vibe, like people who have comments off, or people who you can't get personal or private tarot readings from, but they have a lot of like, oh, your twin flame is coming back, your soulmate's coming back, you know, they're returning, you know, they miss you, you know, those kind of things. It's kind of like, it's just a little scammy. To me, twin flames are real in the sense that there's a magnetic pull and there's a lesson you have to learn. But I don't think that a twin flame is your soulmate. It's definitely someone who you match with, and there's something that you're both mirroring. I think there's a lesson there that you have to learn, but I don't think it's someone that, you know, you're supposed to be with. I can tell who is legit and who's not. And I know a lot of others can as well. People who do tarot can tell. I will say that there are a lot of tarot readers out there that know how to read, and they read well, but they also really sugarcoat and sprinkle like all kinds of magic to make a message sound better than it is. I'm going to be honest. To me, that is someone who's a little scammy, because it's like, we do have the responsibility as a tarot reader to give a certain message and deliver an important message, but I also don't think it's okay to lie or to sugarcoat or to give the person false hope. I feel like it's very important to be very honest in the readings. And I do feel like that's another part of watching responsibly, is to make sure that you're not watching someone who is just telling you positive things over and over and over again and kind of getting you all hyped up. I do believe that a lot of tarot readers take advantage of people who have limerence or tend to watch their videos repetitively, because they want to keep you coming back. They want to keep you watching their content so they can ultimately make money off of it. And to me, that is a scam. That's not the best of intentions. So just another thing to be looking out for those of you who tend to watch this same video, or may be someone who's struggling with limerence. I also want to, you know, really take a stand and defend a lot of my fellow tarot readers who kind of get a bad rap because, you know, someone was dissatisfied with the pick a card reading or didn't like what the reader had to tell them. And, you know, it's really unfortunate, because like, we really want to help. So ultimately, to kind of wrap this all up in a beautiful, beautiful bow, ultimately, I will say that Watching tarot and pick a card readings are your responsibility and no one else's. It's important to know what you're clicking on, to really question yourself. Do you want to indulge in this, or should you get a personal or private tarot reading, or do you not need a tarot reading at all? Do things just need to naturally unfold? Tarot is such an amazing, successful, incredible tool, divination tool that has helped so many. And I know because I have helped a lot of people with my tarot readings. I provided a lot of guidance and closure on situations. And I do feel like it's part of my purpose and I will continue to do so. But I also feel like it's my responsibility to kind of add this limerence piece and the truth that that's what could be feeding a lot of people to continue to get tarot readings about the same person or watch a million pick a card readings. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything to add, I'd love to hear your comments. It would create such an interesting topic of discussion down in the comments below. And yeah, I do offer personal and private tarot readings on my Etsy shop. So if you're interested in a personal or private tarot reading, you can click the link in the description box below. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.